Shawn Rhoden is, in fact, one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time, being the one man that finally dethroned the Doctor, Phil the Gift Heath. Where does Hadi Choopan stack? Where does he rank among all these Olympia greats, such as Shawn Rhoden? I did a podcast on Project Bodybuilding. I apologize. Project Bodybuilding not that long ago, and we discussed. I believe Matt from Muscle Discord also was there. I know he was there. Anyway, we discussed where Hadi Choopan would land. And it was maybe a discussion between Shawn Rhoden and Hadi Choopan. It is actually a tight decision. I did a matchup between Jay Cutler and Hadi Choopan, and I honestly think, much to the unpopular opinion to the fans, I think that Hadi Choopan would actually defeat Jay Cutler. And the experts as well. I seen Ron Harris on his lives. I always watch them. And somebody asked him, Hadi Choopan or Jay Cutler, and he said Jay Cutler would defeat Hadi Choopan. I love Ron. Love you, big man. But I would friendly disagree with that one. I just think Hadi, very underrated. I mean, what was Jay Cutler in 2009? He was only like 240 some pounds. Much bigger frame. He's a wide dude. He's big. Hadi's just underrated. But can he defeat the man, the myth, the legend, front double bicep pose, and Shawn Rhoden? Shawn Rhoden is a different species altogether than your Jay Cutler. He was absolutely peeled. Shredded to the diced and very aesthetically pleasing. I'm sure somebody's going to get on me about the sizing. He's tilting his hips. He's doing it aesthetically. It looks awesome. But Hadi, he's more of a machine. It's a tank versus a Porsche. Except the Porsche is bigger than the tank, which is interesting. But my ultimate response on the front double, I guess, Hadi Choopan. I mean, that vacuum, the arms, it's just too much. Shawn Rhoden's great and all, but Hadi Choopan is too. Here's the front lat spread. Now, this is a different situation. This is a different story. The arms, well, this time the arms, Rhoden's winning, for what that matters. Doesn't matter a whole lot in the front lat spread, but little bit. Torso heap for torso heap, it's a pretty dead even matchup. Rhoden very aesthetically pleasing, so is Choopan. Choopan has the guts, he has the muscle. Hustle, rustle. Rhoden, look at Rhoden's lats. Very impressive. Almost Dorian-esque. And I like his wheels a whole lot better in the front lat because he's actually flexing them. He wasn't really flexing them. He was kind of tilting doustly for that front double. So he is maybe not on equal playing field, I don't think, as far as condition of those wheels are concerned. I mean, Hadi Choopan, guys, he is current. Everybody's down on the current guys, but give the man some respect. And I guess we're going right into the side. Wasn't done talking, but I guess I can fill in what I was going to say in this shot as well. Now, the proportions of the proportions are good as far as muscle is concerned, but the proportions for bone length, legs of the size of the legs of the size of the legs of Rhoden. See, he has a much larger set. And I'm not saying they're thicker, they're just longer, and they're in proportion with the length, so they're gonna be bigger. And at the end of the day, even in that front lat spread, like they weren't giving me time to say, I like the proportions of Shawn Rhoden much better. And in this shot here, I'm not a huge fan of Hadi's because of that far delt. Take it for what it is. Not sing, but it might be. He could have slapped on some clay. But either which way, glutes and hamstrings poking out there for Rhoden. Wow. Very bubbly. Side tricep. This is an interesting situation, to say the very least, says Mark's Max Muscle. It is obviously not the Manion pose position, the side tricep of the Manion specifications. And I like that. I like how They should have to, but obviously Shawn Rhoden did not get the memo. This is the way he was hitting it, and as far as he knew, this was okay. This was okay. But it's not a side. It's not a side. But I don't think Rhoden had anything to hide as far as the side lag is concerned. It was the tricep itself. He wanted to just draw the attention away from the tricep itself. But Hadi, he's no Phil the Gift Heath either in that aspect. So debatable. I would honestly think Rhoden is kind of flatlining Hadi Choopan from both side points of view. The back shots are going to be a decider. Could be. And for those of you who were thinking, well, Rhoden will beat Hadi from the back because he's basically Samson Dauda with glutes. That is not the case. Samson Dauda is nearly 300 pounds. He is a Boeing 747 jumbo jet. Rhoden was never that wide. But what he does have working for him is those walnut glutes. He is a peeled machine. Super peeled. Yeah. He's got some calves too. Rhoden has awesome calves. So there's a few different things here to take into consideration. Back for back. If Rhoden did have Samson's big back, might get an edge, because I honestly think he is slightly more peeled in the lower half than Hadi Choopan. Maybe glutes, maybe not hamstrings. The back itself, I'd like to use the word crushing, I think, with all due respect to the late, great Rhoden. Hadi is crushing him in the back. You know he is. So don't look at me like that. Here's the rear double. Yeah, look at those hamstrings of Hadi, guys. You think he was more conditioned than Rhoden? You would have to ultimately see them side by side on the same stage to see who was the most. You can only tell so much from pictures, but yes, you can tell a little bit from pictures. Sure you can. Sure. Lats, again, the thickness, that's going to make a big difference. Hadi's lower back. But having said that, the rear double, a little closer here. Rhoden, look at those glutes. Peeled. That's who said that, Rhoden. I was peeled inside and out at the 2018 Olympia. Here's the abs and thigh. Wow. And here is the argument. Take the whole body out of the situation and look at just the abs. And I honestly think Hadi, he has a better set. He has a more complete set of abs. But it is everything that's wrapped around those abs. Look at that. Look at the lines of Rhoden. And not to say that his abs were no good. I mean, nobody else is going to be in between these guys. Modern day bodybuilding, these two guys, even Andrew Jacked, I mean, these guys, the best midsections, bar none. And Hadi's a little bit better. And he's more mechanically peeled, I would suggest, in those quads. But Rhoden has that feathering and a lot of impact. And ultimately, yeah, I would give him the abs and thigh. But it would be a personal decision. Some people are going to go with Choopan. Here's the most muscular and an end to this very debatable matchup. Rhoden, he has a thin skin. You can see it more in the video footage if you get good quality footage. The guy was just like glaciers. And Choopan, he's glaciers too, but he's more ripped. The muscles are just growling and, just peeled. He's ripped. Rhoden, he's got a bigger frame. He is more aesthetically pleasing. He's got a little of this, a little of that. He's got some calves. Back development, don't get me started. Hadi is winning on that. Glutes puts Rhoden out of the getting skunked situation, which is a term from getting totally destroyed. You get skunked. I don't know if that's maybe a Canadian saying or what, but he's not getting skunked. And I guess at the end of the day, I'm going to lean towards just slightly towards Shawn Rhoden. He is Flexitron. He had a couple of things that Jay Cutler just didn't have. I think his back was better. I think he was more conditioned overall. I think he was more symmetrical. He was more aesthetically pleasing. Proportions, Jay had a few things wrong. His left side didn't match his right side. His back was a little wishy-washy. Things of that nature. But having said that, I mean, Hadi Choopan, he does rank up there with your Brandon Currys, your Shawn Rhodens, your Dexter the Blade Jacksons, and Jay Cutler's, for goodness sakes. For goodness sakes. But because he's a modern day competitor, he'll never be recognized until 10, 20 years from now. Then they'll say, man, that Iranian bodybuilder, he was awesome. He was awesome. All muscle. All muscle. Muscle Russell. Russell was a guy I went to school with. Shout out to Russell. I don't know if he's still around, still with us. I'm sure he was. I'm sure he is. Russell Adair. Great big muscle kid. Muscles coming right out of him. Hit thumbs up on the video, guys. And please subscribe to that channel. Give me a little boost closer to that 100,000 subscriber mark. Have a great one.